Hola, hola. I am Trek with 2Ks.
And I am 3D, and welcome to Metaverses The Other Side.
Brought to you here on the Gentlemen of Crypto Network. Just a heads up, this episode is before we had the idea of bringing the Twitter spaces to the Gentlemen of Crypto Network. And so that's why we're talking about the stuff that we're talking about in this episode.
I think you got input on this as well, Yonta.
Yeah, I was going to go back to the whole concept that Chase was bringing up about dying in the game and the NFT, the character, whoever the person that loses their physical NFT that they've been building up for, whatever said time in the game. I think that's cool and all, but it should still be like a repository so that the NFT isn't really for real lost. It's just lost during that tournament or that whatever. It's just too much pressure on somebody losing a $5,000, fighting character NFT that they've been working on the last 5 years and then you lose it in one night.
Yeah, that's true.
Super nerd, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Now, with that type of stuff, there is this technology you could use. I say it like that because we see it being used on Wax ecosystem and Ton ecosystem, but I don't see it used a whole lot in Ethereum or EVMs. But there's this thing where you could do pooling. So if your character dies, it goes to the pool. So basically, what happens is when you go to play the battle, right? You guys are actually playing a physical GUI. Your NFT gets sent into an escrow, which is just a wallet holding both NFTs, right? And then the battle, whenever the battle is done, it sends basically which one gets saved, which one doesn't get saved, right? And so whichever one doesn't get saved gets dropped into a pool, and the other one that gets, the one that doesn't get saved gets dropped into the pool, and that doesn't get saved. The one that does get saved gets sent back, right? So it gets sent back to the owner. The loser loses their NFT. And then at the end of the thing, you could say, okay, the pool is just mixed up and sent randomly to people. But so you won't get your NFT back, but you'll get another NFT back. You could do something like that, or even a thing where it's like you could pay to get a different NFT that you could then spend, which instead of sending it to a burn wallet, you could just send it back to the market wallet in order to receive a specific NFT you want out of the dead pool. And then it's stuff like if the thing that revives an NFT costs $5,000 and there's a $20,000 NFT in that pool, the ideal here now is there's two strategies. First off, you have the strategy of if I can win, I can get the clout to be able to say I'm better than you guys. My NFT actually is better physically compared to you guys in the game, or I'm better than you guys are in the game, whatever. And then the second thing is if you're trying to obtain wealth, you would want to get these lower end revives. So then you would wait for something big to get dropped in the pool and hope you're the first one to claim that big ass thing in the pool with your whatever and get that NFT that you could then sell in the second market for someone to grab to try again to use it to try to beat, because if it's really down to the player, a new player might want that character for whatever stat it actually has when it comes to the game. You know what I mean? So there are ways you can gamify even losing your character. There's ways you can gamify that.
Oh man,
that's a lot to take in. Oh my gosh! Like you said, Deadpool, and then I started thinking about the cartoon and all kinds of shit. Man, that's crazy, man.
This is recorded. You can always come back, and it also will drop on the Gentlemen of Crypto. In one of the future Friday drops, we always do a replay drop on Fridays, Gentlemen of Crypto on YouTube at 11 p.m. So go ahead and check whatever one we do tomorrow, and then each Friday after that, and eventually you come back to this again on YouTube. You can replay that. What up, Chase?
Right. So he's starting to work on his game Bible and everything like that. What I'm looking at is one, I'm not gonna charge a lot of people a lot of money for crypto for the NFT. That's the first thing is I want everybody to play it. I don't want to make it so it's so exclusive that you can't buy into it. That kind of defeats the purpose for my vision. But the thing that I wanted to happen was, if you go, let's just say that the NFT costs $25. There's different things that you can do inside of the game that will build up said character, skill levels and things like that. You go through so many exercises, learning how to maneuver your character, how to do whatever. And now the thing is when you get into a battle, you know what I mean? You're putting up your experience points, your skill points, all the skills that you acquired, and you put them on the line. If you lose, that NFT is burnt, but you're able to retain your skill levels and everything like that, and you would get another NFT. You know what I mean? If yours is lost to the pool, so now you can go ahead. If you lose that particular battle, you retain your skill points, your experience points, and everything like that. But now you got to go back. You lost that NFT; it's gone. Now you can go back, and now you can mint free. You got to pay your gas, but you can mint another NFT, and then you just start the process over again. So instead of starting from scratch, you'll be able to pick up and build another NFT with where your skill points is at and everything. So this would encourage you to come back and and to keep going in the game, because you just lost your NFT. You didn't lose your experience points. You didn't lose your skill sets, or your armaments or whatever, what have you. And, and it's just an idea. It's just an idea because, I want to, oh, man, when the bull comes back, we're going to have to make this space exciting, man. And it's got to be, it's got to be something more than just looking at a picture of a damn monkey or a damn seal or something like that. You need, there's got to be something exciting to it. You know what I mean? And I'm really looking to tap into the gamers and a lot of other. But I'll land on that.
You know what? I agree. I don't know much about what y'all are talking about, but I know that people love a great train wreck, and they love to go and watch a train wreck. And if there's a risk to somebody losing their ass, that's a huge benefit. Hell, you could draw money. That's what the NFC is all about. That's what these football games are all about. That's what the side bets are all about. And I could see it growing into, hey, dude, no balls, no babies, motherfuckers. Let's go and put it out on the line. And you lose big. You win big. It could create it into that. I could see people going in to see who the winner is and who wants to jump in. That's just, I hope I'm even close to what y'all are thinking.
All right, I got this idea. If anybody does this, give me 1% of all your sales. No joke, but this is going to be like the thing that I think what you're talking about, Chase, but this could be used for so many different cases. So you have a contract that basically handles, and stored inside the contract is your, your information, where your different pools are going to be at. So you know where stuff is located. So basically you're going to have a bet pool, and you're going to have a fight pool, and then you're going to have a dead pool. And that's what you have, okay? Now, what you're selling, though, your CID folder is going to actually be what you're selling. And that CID folder is going to have a GUI, and that GUI is just going to basically be, hey, I'm pulling from a secret folder that other people won't be able to see because only you can see this information. And that is going to be where your character data is stored. So you're buying your individual character, but not the actual person, just like the name and information about it, like you're saying, the stats and stuff you're building up over time. And so you can drop information into the first folder that adjusts what they see around like the edges of the HUD, basically. So as you build like you said, as you go through achievements, you do things, we drop stuff in the public folder so people can see all the stuff you've done. And then as you get a person built, as you go through the actual GUI of the game and you get your stuff put on, you get your chainmail, you find your stuff, it gets dropped into the secret folder that only you in the game, which is the contract, can see. And the contract technically controls that folder. And you can do that through IPFS. Contracts can control IPFS stuff, so you can actually have it where it's hosting a copy of that folder, and it just is not hosting a copy, it's replicating or mimicking a copy. I forget what it's called. They actually have a name for it, where you're just forwarding it, so whatever changes in the original changes on your end as well. Or pinning it. Yeah, pinning it. So you pin it, so that way everything changes dynamically. So it has control over it, but at the same time, it's just relaying it. Now, when you die, you lose all your character, you use everything in that secret folder, but not the public folder. So you are dying, but you don't have to actually rebuy a new NFT. You just have to rebuy a new player to put into your NFT. And so now your marketplace can actually be separate from the game. So anybody can have a marketplace to play in with the game, which allows you to have this fully dynamic possible game of any kind where you could have wrestlers fighting Halo characters. You could have anything and everything from anything and anything that your heart desires, as long as you have the proper setup for the stats. Basically, you have an API that these people put into their NFTs that says the stat is strength, this, that, certain points of data it needs for the game to be able to complement what's going on. And then if it's like an actual GUI where you're playing, that's built into the CID you're buying, that is the HUD. So that's where your player control would be. So when you're viewing your NFT, because you own it, and again, you unlock it, that's where your controller actually is. People can watch. And then if you have a million of these NFTs out, there's a million different viewpoints that people can view what's going on. And since the game isn't like moving around really, or you could actually do that, there's like so many different types of technical possibilities you could do. But the actual technology that the NFTs are doing is just simply who owns what. And then everything else is done through IPFS, which is the original decentralized network. To this day, that is the original decentralized network. They were the first ones to do a decentralized distributed network that was robust and was able to handle scaling as well as load. I know it doesn't always seem like it, but if it takes 3 days to load something in that's halfway across the world and it has to go 2 different directions to get back to you, that's not half bad compared to what it could be. But at the same time, if more people treated IPFS like they do internet, where if you're hosting stuff and I start also hosting your folder, well, I mimic your folder. So anything you do, I see as well. I'm not just pinning it, I'm also mimicking it. So I have your files. I can have it set to where my does automatically whatever yours does. I think that's called mimic. And then I don't have to worry, I can set it and go. And now there's 2 points people can load this from. And so we could actually have dynamic loading and stuff like that. You can host IPFS on phones. You can have IPFS on almost any device computer out there that has any form of like Linux capability from like 2010 and up. So Android and even Raspberry Pis and things like that can handle all this. So the ability that you being able to build a game that could be decentralized, scalable, fast, and better than anything we have right now, as in compared to like online game, it's crazy. And at the same time, you could have an automated betting system where people just put money into the pool with memos of who they think is going to win based on who is in the player pool, and people can just throw players into the player pool. So it doesn't matter. There's no rounds or anything. It's just everyone starts throwing players in there, and everyone is now live playing with their NFT because they put theirs into the player pool, which is just an escrow. And then as you die, that escrow just removes your subfolder, your secret folder's information, and you get kicked out of the game, that actual pool, because you're dead. You got to go get a new player. When you get a new player, rebuild your life. So tons of different things you could do. Like you could literally have multiplayer Elden Ring through NFTs in this manner.
It's a lot to digest because the tokenomics of all of how it works on the back end is like that's where a whole lot of planning and strategy goes into that too. So
yeah, and at the same time, I did just offload a lot of how that tokenomics could work together. And if you have a burning strategy like on Wax blockchain, you can actually really burn an item to where it's not just being put into a burn folder. It just actually is being noted on the blockchain. This item no longer exists, and it's the information scrubbed from it. So then you can actually do stuff where like you can burn something to upgrade it or downgrade it, and you can actually break items and do all sorts of other fun stuff. So which blockchain you put this on could expand your functionality.
So, what I was thinking about is that, on the back end is that this gives us, an opportunity to keep making NFTs, because if they're getting burnt, from losing the battle, then, you know what I mean? Then that means you're going to have to go buy another one,
Yeah, that will allow you to sell it at a much lower rate, too, because you're going to end up selling more.
Yeah, and I know it's got to be accessible to people at a large scale, you know what I mean? And I think, I'm still throwing the price around, and like I said, it's a lot of stuff that needs to be worked out and everything, and
Yeah, you do have a lot of contract work that you'd have to do there. But the beauty of something like this is you could run it on any blockchain that has any form of contract scalability or contract communications. Even Bitcoin can handle that systems. They can handle scripting on-chain. People don't like to do it because it's costly, but it can be done. So you could actually have one game that you just have a contract on all the EVMs. You have a contract on Wax. You have a contract on Bitcoin. You have a contract on Litecoin. You have a contract on Monero. And then you could have a potential way of earning money, fivefold compared to the one you had. And keep in mind, one of those ones we're talking about, EVMs, that's already like an eightfold system. So, I mean, like, you could just like open up in one, earn some money from the sales on the market to people play. Then you open the next one and you get more sales, and you open the next one, and you get more sales, you open the next. And then you get to this point where then after you have all these available markets on all these different market, blockchains, then it's just a matter of getting names in. Then you do like the Wax thing where you go to different places and you say, hey, look, we got this thing where anybody can jump in and play. We want to throw, NASCAR's in there. Let's get NASCAR in here. NASCAR, we want to make you NFTs, and these NFTs are going to be playable in this game thing. And then when you play in this game thing, it can be traded on the market, it can be burned, it can be replied. And because there is such thing as unlimited NFTs on like some blockchains, like you could be like, yeah, this gives you exposure to 8 different blockchains. This gives you exposure to all this different stuff. This could put your name everywhere. And imagine going to everybody. Like you could go to like Martha Stewart and be like, yeah, bro, we want you in the game hitting people with pots and pans. And depending on which NFT they have, depends on what weapon you have in your hand. Like, who's gonna like? You could do literally anything you want. This could actually be like Ready Player One with IPFS, making it actually decentralized. And then you could actually decentralize who can play, how they can play, and what they're actually playing with.
Could we token gate? Adding on to the idea that you just threw out there, could you potentially token gate something so like if someone has that Martha Stewart NFT, then they can put a pot and pan on the side of their race car or something like? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you can do nesting. So like, if say you have the Martha Stewart, and then you also have a different one with like just a weapon, and you could nest that weapon in her NFT. And then when that NFT gets dropped in there, the blockchain knows that there's 2 there, and you can do that on all EVMs, and you can also do that on Wax, but they just call that a different system. They have a different name for it. They just call it NFT pooling. And so you would actually put something else in there. So then she could be holding 1 or 2 or 3. You could have more options, armor, so on and so on. And then also we're talking about basically you have to buy the stuff that goes inside your subfolder. So that's a gateway right there that already is a potential for you to earn money. And then again, like I said, if you can nest things into your character even more, then you could actually have something where it's like you could put stuff in your armor NFT that gives you a special attribute when you play that does not show normally unless you actually go look and hunt through all the blockchain data, first on IPFS and then on whatever blockchain you're on, to see that, oh, this also has an NFT inside of it that gives you frost damage. So like you could actually jump into the game and have hidden stuff that people don't even know it's there until you hit them and you freeze them.
Oh man, guys, you know what? I really appreciate y'all, because now what I'm thinking, oh man, so anybody can get in the game with an NFT. And,
as long as their information is set up with the API, like you'd have to have certain named attributes, you know, is how it would work. And then it would read those and it would say, okay, these are the ones that we're looking for. If you have this, plug in. If you don't, it's a 0. And yeah, anyone could get in, anyone could jump in, and anyone could build on it. And as long as you're building over and over and over for new blockchains, if you're the first one to put in for the next new blockchain for that game, you're going to get the most sales because you'll be the oldest one of that, you know? So it doesn't matter if people copying pasta, that just actually promotes you even more. Because when you're putting into the pool and stuff, you get also a percentage of the bets. You know, this can equal out to more and more things. And if you're the only one that's able to sell stuff that gets people out of the death pool, you have a marketplace now for forever win, no matter who else plays, because only your death pool revival NFT will revive people out of that pool. And that's the real showcase here that ensures whoever builds it has potential to forever market, even if they stop building on it and other people build forever and they just stop. As long as they have that one available unlimited NFT, you got the money.
Could y'all imagine what the ramifications of that would be? You know,
one game like, forever.
Like, you know, the brother that just mentioned, he said, well, what if somebody got a $5,000 NFT? So it's not that, okay, yeah, you know, I have my own native NFTs, characters for playing the game, but anybody can get into the game with their own characters. As long as everything winds up, you know, matches up and everything, your NFT has got to be read. But there's a possibility that if you lose the match, you lose your NFT and it's going to a burn wallet. And, you know, for them folks that's got those blue chip NFTs, I can just hear them crying now. You know, what the brother said, well, what about the guy that got a $5,000 NFT? You lost. You lost.
Whoa, just wait till the YouTube videos come out. Guaranteed way to not lose your blue chip NFT. Buy one of these death revivals immediately and have it set to look for your NFT number. The second you die, click that button and revive it and you just get right, you know, like, yeah, that's going to happen, bro. Yeah. It's going to create multiple different venues for people to earn money off of, even if they don't get involved. And that's what would make it really successful. It's not just people in it that's going to make money. People that build it's going to make money. The people watching are going to make money. The people betting are going to make money. There's a potential for everyone involved to make money, even if they don't actually involved. They just make videos on it and stuff.
Yeah, well, I think the finality of it has to be there. You know, that there is that chance that if you don't win, you lose, and that little $5,000 NFT is going to be forever sitting in that dead pool.
Hey, that's why like the ideal of being able to revive out of there is so special, because you'll have people that buy up a shitload of those death revivals just to revive blue chip NFTs first, to resell them to their owners, their previous owners, at a slightly higher value. And that could actually be a strategy. If someone has an NFT they want worth more, they could have it go to battle over and over and over and over and over until it becomes worth a whole lot, and then basically do a shark move and actually finally win as worth a huge amount of money, because the last time they had to buy it was worth a lot of money, and now it finally wins, and now it has the clout. So there could even be a strategy to the ability of buying back dead NFTs. Like, maybe not the assets that they were holding, but at least the characters. You could buy back the character. There's a huge strategy upon that alone that could be immersive. And if you're telling one of big companies and you're saying, hey, we want to put you in a game, and you tell them their NFT could be forever lost, they're going to say no. But if you tell them that people can buy it back, it's not ever forever lost, they're going to be for it. So I do say forever lost is kind of a bad point in that case, but you could do it. Like, you could have a thing when you upgrade. You could then burn that, and then you have an upgraded version of what you had, but the original is burned. So you do have things like that you could do. You could also have strategies where it's like, if you get a new partnership and they want an old partnership that's no longer with you to be burnt, in order for theirs to be revived, instead of people paying for theirs, you can do stuff like that. You can have rivals come in and have the rivals that no longer are in be burned. Like, there's so many more different types of functionality you can do involved with that. All right, Trek, I see you got to go, Joseph. I appreciate you coming in and saying I know we're longer. I'm sorry for the replay. I know replay's probably going to be 2 parts, 3 parts. My apologies, but we're having a great conversation. I'm just going to keep this rolling. If you want to be able to cut in and say something, go for it, bro.
All right, folks. As I keep saying, hashtag we're not tourists, we're not drifters. We do this stuff, and yeah. And like I said, it's 2 guys that's geeking out on the Twitter Spaces with whoever decides to join us. And when you listen to this later, you're gonna understand why I say the stuff that I say. Cash, I hope this works out for you, DC. Damn, bruh, I'm having a brain fart of my life right now. Yeah, Xavier, thanks for coming through. Lisa Crypto, thanks for coming through. And Blem, and there was somebody else who was in here, but they dropped out. And they go, thank you for coming through. Again, we do this every Thursdays at 8 p.m. And as you can see, we aren't really price talk people, but we got some ideas. We do geek out on the tech though. I would check y'all out. And also, like 3D said, we do the replay, and this will be a couple of weeks out on Gentlemen of Crypto Network, which is at 11 p.m. on Fridays. But it'll be a couple of weeks out by the time this one gets put up. But other than that, I hope everybody has a good weekend. I'm about to go play Soldier in the bush, so have a good night, y'all.
All right, bro. Thanks so much for coming in. Cheers, go see you in 1 second. I just want to point out that we do try to keep the replay 1 or more weeks behind, just to make it easier for people to catch the replay, because they normally find it, the next day. That might be kind of difficult for them. So always a week after or 2 weeks after. Chase, come on in, bro. I know you had your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, Trek, man, when are you doing some videos on YouTube? Or is he already gone?
Sorry, say that again.
You're doing videos on YouTube?
No, we do the replay of the Twitter Spaces on the Gentlemen of Crypto YouTube channel. That's the other one. I do 2 shows on theirs. This is the second show that I do on their network.
Would you guys be interested in doing any type of interviews? Because I'm trying to get my company back out of nowhere, some exposure and stuff like that. But first thing, do y'all do any interview types with founders of different projects or anything like that on your YouTube channel?
All right, that's a little bit more of a drawn-out conversation because I got to figure out which side you're talking about. In relation to Metaverses, the other side, that's me in 3D. As far as Gentlemen in Crypto, and like how their stuff is set up, that's a whole different pathway you got to go through for them.
Now, what's talking about on here, trying to get more interviews with people doing stuff with a metaverse. If it's metaverse related, me and Trek would love to have an entire episode of just interviewing you on here, and then go into the replay. If something like that is doable, I know, because like basically what Trek is trying to say is, unless it's metaverse related, we can't really do it on here because we try to keep it as much metaverse related as possible. But to be honest, if you don't mind, I do live streams. I would love to have you in a live stream. I go to Odyssey. I know it's not as popular, but I do get some viewers. And then if you reach out through Trek through DMs, I know he has to get going. If there's some other one that he's doing on another one, he can bud you in. I'm sure he wouldn't mind because we've had you on before and stuff. We absolutely enjoy having you on. We've talked about you before, just like in regular conversation, like you're a great guy. We think you're awesome. And I know there's different ways we can help you get some interview, get some kind of screen time. If you're willing to reach out to us more about it in DMs, I'm definitely more willing to help you with it.
That's what's up, man. I appreciate that. I will be in contact with you.
Absolutely, because I know we reached out before in DMs, so I know you got me there, so I'm not worried about that, nothing. And yeah, I would love to have you on one of my live streams. If you're not bothered about playing like Minecraft or something while you in an interview, I don't know if you've ever done that before, but that's normally how we do it online. Is we're playing Minecraft while we do it.
I don't mind doing that. Do I got to go get Minecraft and play along with you, or how would that look?
That is the only way we do it. We normally do it in Uplift. If you have a different game that's something else, like there's Minecraft, there's all sorts of different games. So I just try to do it where we're visual, because normally I play games, so people, they want to see us playing the game. That's basically what it comes down to. They don't care what we talk about. I've done a couple interviews already where we just played Minecraft. We sat down, we played, we built stuff, we had fun, but we had like a casual conversation interview. It was really fun. And if there's a game that you like to play or something, or even if you want to do like VR chat or something else, I'm down, bro. Or even spatial or on cyber, I'm down.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, bro. Look, man. For a long time, I was, when I first came into the space, I was saying some ignorant shit. Like, I was an East Maxi, and not really. It was more my naivety than anything else. Because I was like, yeah, I cut my teeth, and I'm doing this now, and we got our project, and it's really about the tech, right? It's not particularly about one blockchain. It's about the tech and how we can use that. You know what I mean, for people in general. So, I stopped calling myself an East Maxi, because I met some good people like my boy. I call him a Bitcoin Maxi, Tyler, ACU BTC. Tyler introduced me to 3D and some other great people. I met those Cardano guys, and I was like, man, there's fucking great guys on every last one of these blockchains. And, and it's about making inroads with the good folks, and that's where, I'm, what I'm trying to do and where I'm trying to go.
Now, I don't know if you noticed, but I actually am 3D. I'm just hosting the space on Builder DAO, because Trek had to cut out, like he said.
That's you, Douglas?
Yeah.
What's
so
up, buddy?
I just realized I'm not on my actual account.
Where's Tyler at?
I don't know. I think he's busy. Yeah, I think he's busy. He's been building a company, so I think he's messing with that. Now, the great thing that you point out that a lot of us in the developer side and the more geeky side stuff, you're right. We're all doing stuff on multiple blockchains. Very few of us stick to just one blockchain. And I'll be honest with you, bro. Like I was in Beancoin for so long, like I refused to give it up. I tried to stay in Beancoin as long as I could. And then I eventually was like, okay, fine, I'll use Hashdash. And then I immediately went to Bitcoin, no problem. And then after Bitcoin, I didn't want to use Tethercoin. I didn't want to use Litecoin. I didn't want to use any of the other coins. I just wanted to use Bitcoin as these other ones came out. I was like, no, it's just Bitcoin, just Bitcoin. And even at a point where I was like mining 8 different currencies, including Bitcoin at home, I still called everything other than Bitcoin a shitcoin. I held more money in like Litecoin and Monero than Bitcoin at the time as like a collective whole, but I still called them shitcoins. And then when one day I started just using more what I call at the time shitcoins for business, like I started building stuff that was working with like Wax, and started doing stuff that was working with Ethereum, and started doing stuff that started working with Monero, and I wrote the first paper on how to do a video game on Monero, and helped someone build the first Monero-based blockchain game, and then I was like, okay, these are not shitcoins. These are really legitimate coins. Like they're really good. And now I'm in a dev group where they do like 5 different blockchains all the time. And there'll be people in there from all over, all talk that you could write. The dev side, it's not about the money. It really is about the tech. And that's the part whenever you see like the big public speakers, they're always like money, 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 price, this, that. Look at Mike Kaiser. He pulls up a dollar bill and starts screaming in everybody's face. But then you go look at a dev who talks and he has his hands neatly folded in his lap and he's like, politely saying, oh yeah, this is how the system works and this is why this is slow and we understand it and we're not afraid, it's okay, we're going to make it faster. And now we're looking at people or in the blockchain space looking at IPFS going, wait a minute, we can use this to give more functionality here, but at the same time make what we're doing right now on IPFS faster. I mean, like the minds are finally starting to collide in the right way. And that's why like people, when they start getting into the dev side, they all say the same thing, like, wow, it's really not about the prices, it really is about what we're doing.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah, man. We're trying to do some good things, man. Cause, I'm a firm believer in the tech club. And the people that don't want to get into it, that's fine. That's good. You know what I'm saying? And we have to look for the seamless part of it. I believe my brother calls it latency. Because I'm onboarding people on a daily basis. With the spaces that are whole blockchain basics, every month, Monday through Friday. And it's really just the educational piece and onboarding people, but giving them good information that they can use. And, some people don't care about that stuff that happens in the background, what's happening with the databases and stuff like that. They just want to know, can you use it? Can we have some fun with it and stuff like that? So, how you go, and you go get your game console, you get your pieces that go with it, your controllers and everything. You plug it up, hook it up to your TV, and you start playing. After you register and stuff like that, they're not looking at the programming parts of it.
You're right. It's the people who are building the mods, the people, that are passionate, right, behind the scenes that are doing all that. And you're absolutely right. Like, what people want versus, like, what the developers are doing is 100% different. Because I have thousands of times seen people be like, oh, Bitcoin's not doing anything, do something Bitcoin. And me and other developers are commenting in there, go learn the code, bro, because there's so much activity happening in the developer side of it. And it's like people think that there's nothing going on. And it's like, normally when a blockchain developer team is quiet, they're hard at work. And that's something that we've always said, like, if developers are being allowed, they're not building. And there's this thing that a lot of, like, I've been hearing more often, at least, I should say, where they're saying, is it done yet? Is it done yet, bro? Is it done yet, bro? To encourage developers to keep pushing to develop faster, better, stronger. That whole, like, Daft Punk song, harder, faster, stronger, better. And it's insane, like, the motivation that comes with becoming a developer. Like, there's so many other people 1,000% motivated to say, yeah, blah, 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 boom, boom, boom. Like, I know, like, I get DMs literally every day where, like, I know, like, no offense to anybody, but I've had DMs sent to me where they say, hey, I want blah, blah, built out. And I just absolutely ignore them. And I've had DMs where people have been like, hey, I don't know how to do blah, blah, blah. And I have sent them, like, a 10-page document and tons of resources of how to do whatever it is they're looking for. And that's how, like, a lot of developers are. A lot of them are exactly like that. While, like, your public personality is going to be the exact opposite. They'd rather contact the person saying, the first one, because they would go, oh, there's something here I can do. Either I can make myself look better, or I can make money. Or while the developer is more like, you don't seem interested on the first question. The second question, you seem like you're interested. You just want to do the work. The first one, you just want to hire someone to do the work. And it's just crazy, but like, because I remember when you were first telling me about how you got in and stuff, and I could hear like you have the coding thought process, definitely. And that makes a huge difference, because even if someone doesn't have that kind of thought process, learning to code puts you into that thought process, and going into that process always makes you thinking about how to make stuff better. Like I think you came at me, it was about music player. I think was the first question, right? Music player.
Yeah, you hacked my file on IPFS. Remember?
Right.
You said, hey, yeah, we can do that. So you opened up my eyes a little bit more about that. Look here, buddy. I'm going to tell you something. I'm working on our business plan now. We're doing some great things, man. I'm taking this time to be real methodical about my approach. And buddy, you're at the top of my damn list. I get this funding, and I can show you proof of funds. Believe me, I want you. You know what I mean? I want you to be right there, because you're a good guy. And with Tyler telling me, these things about you, and you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, man, I can build with you. You know what I mean? So yeah, bro. We're looking at that, man, and and I want to do some good things, man. I want to do some things for people. When you showed me that you can mine Bitcoin with a Game Boy, I was like, oh yeah, yeah. I got to get this guy. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like this right here. If we're not proactive in building, we're going to be consumers of everybody else's stuff, man. And that's not a good place to be, bro. You know what I mean? We got kids, sons and daughters, nieces and nephews and stuff like that. And we looked at all these giant corporations that made billions upon billions of dollars and just literally became rich overnight. And they never gave, not near one of us, they never gave anything back to us. And and I really believe that I can make a difference with people, with trying to help people change their lives by getting them into coding, game design, and stuff like that. And it's like, hey, listen, I'm humble. I'm humble because I thought I was doing some things, but it was like, hey, buddy, there's still a whole lot more you need to learn. When you turned me on the Pine Tools, I was like, oh shit. I was like, yeah, so now, I can go ahead and put those files up on IPFS, put out the link there, and you can't download it.
Yep.
You can play it, but you can't download it. You know what I mean? So, and it's like, hey man, are we doing something for people? Because I'm interested in starting my own business and having some place for me to work at. And, my son or my future grandkids, they have a place to go to work. And I'm thinking about the other people, folks out in Appalachia, folks out in the Midwest, in the Rust Belt, and things like that. Is anybody thinking about doing something to help people gain the skills so they can make money, so they can take care of their family? And that's how I want to position myself, to do something good for people, man. And it's not, at the end of the day, it's not about being rich. You'll get your due rewards for getting out there doing something good. And, that's just, one of my principles, man. I need to build something for people that we can monetize for ourselves, instead of just having to go sign up at Meta and use Zuck's bucks and stuff like that, and spending your money, and here these people are going to take 50% plus a marketplace fee for your NFT. Man, the hell I'm going to give you 50% of something of mine for? You didn't do anything. You didn't help create it. You didn't come up with the money for the minting process. But you see, that's how these big organizations, these big companies, that's how they think. And I look at, OpenSea. They got 3.5 people, 3.5 people working for them. At the height of the bull run, during the bull run, these guys was making $1 billion in fees. What did they give back to anybody?
No, they gave like top people something, and that's it.
Yeah, what was you going to say, Doug?
They only gave the top people something. Because you were asking, what did they give back? They only gave back the very top percent something out of what they earned. So the rest got nothing. Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, brother. We hear you.
All right, cool. Now, I hear you talking about you want to build something, and they're right now, the group of people that I'm with right now, we're learning how to do this dynamic IPFS thing where that music that you want to do, we're learning how to do the full amount of skills to that, like as in downloading, sorting, determining, and then exporting whatever we need to do, the data to do. And at the same time, being able to upload data in a specific way to where it works with it, right? So we're learning how to do that right now. And it's a good dev team, people all across the globe, some of the best devs that I've met in a long time. And so we're having fun trying to figure this out. So we're trying to figure that out right now, trying to get that fully 100% where it's dynamic, where you can have control over the database and everything. But just hearing you talk about like wanting to build something to help someone though, like something I make my kids do is I make my kids learn how to mine. They get, when they're 14, they get a Raspberry Pi and they have to learn how to mine. And that's their thing. They have a year to show me they can learn how to mine cryptocurrency. They have to make a wallet. Because they understand that's money, right? So they know that's supposed to be sustainable. My youngest son doesn't think it's real money, but they all understand it's actually money or whatever. And, you could easily have a program where you have Raspberry Pis or Orange Pis or just cheap, low-end computers that are just plugged into cheaper, lower-end SDR monitors, and you just do like a HDMI to, like to the HDR or HDMI to the old-fashioned VMA or whatever, or VGA or whatever it's called. And so you get the lower end monitors, and they can build stuff, whatever. And what you do is you have them learning to code, building stuff in your whatever. You build a basic app for them to play with. And now they're learning how to do the code and stuff, and they're playing with the app, and they're building something. And then whatever they get done doing, they mint it as an NFT. But the NFT has a special fee system that pays the system, whatever company is running it, whatever, DAO or whatever you want to call it, whatever nonprofit is that technically running the business. It pays that to ensure that it can keep going. And so one of the things it can do is it has its own marketplace. And then it does an additional fee there that's lower. So then it's like a standard fee. And then now kids could like create images or AR art or anything, or a plan for an item or a schematic or whatever, and maybe prepare for college or prepare a paper or write a note or something, mint it in a good environment, and then be able to sell it and feel good about themselves doing the process. If it ever gets sold, to be feel good about themselves, to earn something, the system earns something off of their good efforts. Everybody fucking wins. And then you could do it where you could sell it inside of a box, to where if it came down to it, you could offer a version that people just buy. It comes with the little computer, and you can get basically they're like a 5-inch screen. It's about the size of a cell phone that go with Raspberry Pis, Orange Pis, Banana Pis. They go with any of the Pi systems, any of the RISC systems as well. And so they just have a smaller screen. And now they can be doing this at home and being feeling good and earning money, and then eventually they can upgrade their system, and you can have upgrades and offer, and then they could all be nonprofit, and then whatever profit there actually is at the end, you do with all nonprofits. A lot of them do. They split it up and they give it to other nonprofits for them to be able to share their wealth even more, or you expand out and make it bigger. So you have tons of options, and you're going to be teaching these kids these things while learning the stuff yourself. And if some of them help you build stuff that work with it, then everybody wins, because they can become a part of the winning pool that gains from the benefit of it in the end. Like if some kid learns how to build a networking system that you end up selling later, you just ensure the kid gets a piece of the pie by having them their wallet address in the contract. Like tons of little things you can do where you don't have to know who the kid is, where they're at 100 years from today. Your thing gets sold on the blockchain, and that kid's wallet address just happens to be in the thing. So then his family got paid today because they have whenever money goes in that wallet, there's a contract that handles the distribution of the funds because the person is dead. And like even things like that, like you have the technology right now in front of you. You're learning IPFS, which has the ability to handle this over time, and they have been for a long time, even secretly when no one knew about them. And you got blockchain, which can back up that, and you have a way to then divide it into all the blockchains. You can back it up everywhere. Redundancy.
Hey, can I ask you something? Can you is there any way that you could take an old laptop and turn that into a Raspberry Pi to have like your internet connection? Could that work like that, or you need to set up a Raspberry Pi?
No, you can't take an old laptop and turn it to Raspberry Pi. You might be able to put Raspberry Linux distribution on it. So you might be able to put that operating system on it to mimic it. They have kits where you can take a Raspberry Pi and put it into like the shell of laptops. You can turn it into a laptop. You can do that. And you can daisy Raspberry Pi. So they do have this one. I think it's called a 4-Pi laptop. It takes 4 Raspberry Pis. It's a little bit thicker laptop, but it runs like most lower end gaming machines. So it runs quite well. No GPU, which will be all CPU. But it can handle GPU, in case you're wondering.
All right. Hey, good talk, bro.
Always impressive. Like, I love IPFS. I remember when I first fell into it. Like, at first when I fell into it, I was like, "What is this?" And then over the years, just seeing it blossom, and some of the stuff I see other people doing, that they just make my jaw drop. And then when I learned how they do it, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's so amazing!" And it's like, I remember when I told the developer group, the Buy Hut group people, I told them, they're on Twitter too, in case anybody's wondering. Buy Hut is on Twitter. Go catch them, say hi. I told their Telegram group, "Hey, I had this idea," and it was just a picture of like the data, the code. Like, I just wrote the code down like randomly when I woke up and just started writing it down, and had a little picture of what I was thinking the framework would be or whatever, and took the pictures and I sent it in. I was like, "Just got an idea. What do you guys think? Dynamic and IPFS. We could do it as a chat. Blah blah blah." And someone else in the chat was like, "I was thinking about something like this just recently," and not just the idea of doing like IPFS dynamically, but down to the point of using folders in the same way I'm talking about doing it, and building a chat room to test the ideal. So like me and him were on the exact same wavelength. So it was just kind of cool to hear that, like, he's in Denmark, I'm in Oklahoma. We're nowhere near each other. We don't even have the same like sleep schedule or anything, and we still both came up with the exact same ideal on the exact same day. It's just how weird how devs think alike. All right, so anybody else? I see we got Biome in here, we got DC, Crypto, and we got Chase. Do you guys want to talk about anything else? Bring it up. Let's throw it in the chat, throw it in, and you guys can all jump in anytime.
I know that brother Blem got some good music. He got some good reggae. I do know that. That's my guy right there. I was waiting for him to explode, you know.
Okay, that's what's up.
So DCS Crypto, are you into developing? Oh, Blem got his hand up.
What's up, bro?
Yes, man. I just wanted to say greetings. I saw Chase in the room. So I jumped in. Was enjoying the conversations. I have the little ones in the background, so I didn't, want to chime in or anything with any noise. But I go by the name Turan, and I represent Blem, and Blem is pretty much the acronym for Best Lifestyle Embracing Morals, and it's just a concept I came up with over the past months, sometime during last year. Really started the medium to advance myself as a recording artist and a musician, like Father Chase just said. And yes, just trying to gain and add value and the insights and all of that. So build our respect the conversation. Thanks for having me up, and I'm going to mute out and get back to these girls. Respect. Hope to join your space another time so we can wrap it up and thing.
That's what's up, brother. Thanks for letting us know about it. Now, this will be replayed on YouTube in a couple of weeks on the Gentleman of Crypto Friday at 11 p.m. So maybe some more people will hear about it and be able to learn about them, and hopefully they'll be able to catch you guys and figure out what's all going on and catch up with you guys here on Twitter. Because people that catch us there know we do this here on Twitter on Thursdays, every Thursday. So if you want to catch us again, come on back. Glad to have you in. Is Crypto, you have anything you want to add in, Impressive?
Yeah, I was gonna answer Chase's question. No, I don't develop Chase, but I pretty much know a lot of people all over the planet in crypto right now. I got in early, like 2015. And I go to conferences, I speak. I mean, I got my own little consulting business I run, and I'm doing a bunch of NFT stuff. I got my hands in almost everything in crypto, but I don't develop. I don't write Solidity. I don't do Java. I don't do any coding. But I know people that code, so I don't know. But I just wanted to let you know, no, I'm not a dev.
All right, that's what's up. Are you anywhere near the Atlanta area?
No, I'm actually here in the DC area, so I'm like right outside of DC in Maryland, actually, PG County, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, Prince George's, yeah. I'm actually thinking about moving out there, but I'm going to be stuck here for a little while in Atlanta, But yeah, brother, man, I'd love to have it. I do a space Monday through Friday, speaking about blockchain basics, and just basically trying to get people rock solid with their foundation, about how to have, how to practice good wallet hygiene, because, and I tell folks all the time, there's nothing that you can do on a blockchain without a wallet. You can go look at some stuff through the blockchains and stuff like that, but as far as doing any transaction, transferring stuff, minting, staking, whatever, you need a wallet. And a lot of people, man, they, a lot of projects, they tell people to, yeah, go ahead and get your wallet. And they don't explain the little things that they need to know that would keep their assets safe on a blockchain. And I think that that's kind of, they just have it's kind of like they have a flippant attitude to me. Yeah, go get your wallet, go to the website. I've seen it happen plenty of times where, a guy had a project, somebody asked him about the project, and then they tell him to just go mint the project out. They didn't have any, they didn't have the wherewithal to say, hey, well, look, buddy, you know how to use your wallet. Okay, these are some of the things. And, a 2-3 minute conversation, can mean the difference between you making a sale and not. But, that's some other stuff. I invite you to come out, brother, when you can. I do it Monday through Friday, 5:55 to 8. We always run over. I work with a lot of new people, a lot of folks that's just coming into the space and everything like that, man. And you've been in this game for, that amount of time, bro. We'd love to get you in our space, man, and speak to the folks, you know what I mean, about this wonderful world of crypto, bro. Because I'm all for it, but I'm also all for empowering people. Not just if you don't want to get into crypto, that's fine. Are you starting an LLC? Are you starting a business? You got your business plan together. You got your pitch deck. So we're doing a lot of blockchain basics. And it's really about the educational piece, man. You get a chance, give me a follow, man. Come by through the space, man. Like I said, Monday through Friday, we there at 5:55.
All right, no doubt. I followed everybody. I followed everybody on stage. No doubt. We'll connect, brother.
Now, I'll tell y'all something, man. You see this guy builder down, 3D Douglas? Very, very intelligent young man. He just happens to be out in Oklahoma. This isn't for anybody in this room right here, because I give you guys the benefit of the doubt. This is for people that are listening in. Don't be judgmental and look at where a person geographically is and think that they don't know anything. I think 3D Douglas is one of the most brightest developers that I met that was willing to talk to me. That means something, and other developers, I done seen it. Them folks that, I'm not even gonna put the name out there, but there's some other developers and everything. I was like, yeah, well, let me get in and everything. And they was like, nah, they don't even want to have a conversation. So you think I'm interested in following these people or getting on their blockchain or doing anything? You didn't have no interest in me. You didn't even want to have a conversation. So, I'm good. But when I meet people like 3D Douglas, this inspires me to keep on going, man. Much love and respect. Y'all help me build out that hashtag because it's something that's needed in this Web3 space. I did the hashtag Love, Peace, and Web3. Y'all, help me promote that, man, because we need more positivity in this space. Douglas, man, thank you for holding this space, bro. Now, please shoot me a DM when this come out on YouTube, so I can go ahead and like it and share it on YouTube and everything like that. Thanks a lot for holding the space, Doug.
Absolutely, bro. So will do. And I appreciate you too, man. Like, I know when I first started getting into developing, I got uncles that do developing, and asking for help was always like pulling teeth. I think when I asked one of my uncles what parsing was, because I was learning about it. I was like 14, 15. What's parsing? What the fuck does that mean? How does this work? And he went, it's parsing. What do you think it means? That was his response. So I get you, and that's why, like, when people come at me and I'm like, I can see that they're a doer, they're not a talker, they're a doer, I'm always going to be like, I try to say something. There was one person, I think I waited like 3 months before I said something. It wasn't like on purpose or anything. It was just, I was busy. And then one day I was checking DMs, which I don't actually check DMs very often in case people don't realize. But I was checking DMs and I saw that and I was like, oh shit. And so I said something and I just responded, I just answered whatever his question was. And he was just like, oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you getting back to me. And even though it was like months later, I could tell that he still appreciated the answer. So now I still do that where I'll go through DMs and I'll have hundreds of DMs where I haven't even opened up or looked at them. There'll be in that one special section where it's like, you might know them. And so every so often I go through there and I just actually look at what everything says. And yours just happened to be in, like, I think we talked here one time and then I told you to send me a DM because I was like, I didn't want you to end up there because you would just disappear for a long period of time. And so there are some people that I'll see them in there and I'll go click on the button so I can view it forever and I don't have to go back in there. And then I'll contact them sometime after. But yeah, you're right. There's tons of people out there where you'll hit them up and nothing. And even with private paper, we built on something someone else was doing. So at first we were building IPFS, and then we went over to itty bitty site set or itty bitty protocol. And we were one of the first major people to go over to that protocol and actually build something worthwhile. We actually built an entire network off of it, right? And that is the only, because like when I first went over there, I was messaging the creator of that protocol and was trying to ask him questions and stuff, and nothing. And then I built on top of it and figured out how to take it a millionfold what he originally did with it. And it started getting attraction because now there's more on the GitHub, there's more stuff built on it, there's more searches for it on GitHub. I'm going on live streams. And he eventually came to me on Twitter and was like, hey, you're the guy that does the private paper thing, right? Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry for never messaging. Like years later, but finally he came to me. So that's the other thing. Like, even if they're not messaging you, but they have something that you want to use, if it's on GitHub, if it's somewhere you can access it, use it. Because sometimes your actions speak louder than your words, bro. And when you sent me that IPFS thing, that thing on IPFS, and I was seeing all the stuff, and I was like, okay, yeah, I can write this. Like, your actions spoke louder than your words. And that's one thing I don't think a lot of these spaces really present. But sometimes when we hear stuff, when we're nerding out, when we're geeking out, we're saying very specific terms and stuff, and other people are responding and understanding. That's when nerds are really nerding out. And I have to admit, Chase, bro, like having you on every time, bro, you come up with something that makes me think out of the box. Like that idea I gave you earlier, that I said, if you got anybody that does that, I want 1%. I literally just started that because of what you said just before that. Like that just popped in my head, and I said, I gotta say this because it's exactly what you're asking for. It's exactly how you can do it, and you can eventually listen to this a million times and figure out how to get it done. And I'll be there in DMs. You hit me up, I hit you up. We'll make it happen. I'm a bit slow at things, I know, but I always try to make things happen that are bright, fresh, and new. And when you're talking about bringing in new, bright ideas into NFTs, I already know that like you're gonna be bigger than a lot of people just out of the way you want to make things happen for the reasons you want to make them happen. A lot of people you're talking about, like that guy where he was like, just go download it, man, just go get it, just mint it, just get it. He's probably talking to 1,000 people a day and hoping that he gets at least 1% of that 1,000 to jump in. And that's where he's gonna make. That's why he's not caring. That's why he doesn't. He's just like and they try to make everything as simple as like one click. Like there are sites, minting sites, where you would one button, it automatically makes you a wallet that you have no control over, that you can only access through their website, and it mints the thing, and you just basically put with credit card information, boom, done. You get it, and you don't actually have it. Like VV is kind of like that, and it started off kind of like that. I don't know what it is right now anymore. I don't check on it, but so there are things doing that. So there's room for everything, and when you're one of the people that actually cares, and you're, like you said, you're willing to take the 5 minutes out to explain something to somebody, that's going to be the difference between like being Jeff Bezos and being Tom from MySpace. Sure, Tom from MySpace is rich. Sure, Tom from MySpace got famous. Sure, Tom from MySpace is a human that now is really successful. But is he one of the richest people on the planet? Fuck no. And that's the difference. Jeff Bezos would take the time out to answer questions. Jeff Bezos took the time out to train people. And that's one of the things that made him super famous, is when he started expanding out and actually started having to hire people for a digital business. Not only did that make headlines and stuff, made him even more famous, but he took the time out to take people through training courses, to learn these coding skills, to understand what's going on, to ensure his workers were doing the right job all the time. He ensured it. And now look at it. He's one of the richest people on the planet because he did all the things you're talking about doing, bro. So trust me, you keep that confidence up, you keep that motivation up, and you keep your thought process on the line, you have it, man. You're gonna be great. You're gonna be super successful, either in every direction or in the direction of helping so many different people. And like with private paper, we made that free. We don't want money for it. We just want to make it out there. Sure, I love donations, but at the same time, it's like we want it out there. And I can tell you're that kind of person where it's like, if you can think of a tokenomic scheme where it can, the DAO can pay for itself basically, or your nonprofit can pay for itself, I could see you taking the time, effort, and energy to make that happen. Especially if the roundhouse income is feasible, right? So if we can come up with ideals that you can learn to execute, you'll build the systems that when they execute, it's a money machine. That's what we're looking at. We're looking at a system that's helping somebody that ends up becoming a machine that funds itself. And if that's all it takes for you to be successful, bro, then I believe you're the kind of person that's going to do something like that. And that's going to get you some kind of attention, some kind of knowledge, notes. People are going to want to donate to you because maybe their kid is using whatever you built, or their family member is using whatever you built. Like money may always come after you build something, and having your ideal thoughts like you do, well, I wanted the tech to do this, and I need to understand why, and you need to understand how, or else you're going to get screwed. Dude, all the right places. And I hope the people that are listening to this in the replay understand that the way you did it, that should be a clipped moment on YouTube, and that should be sent out everywhere as like a short, because the way you said it, how you said it, that's the motivational speech people like to hear. And I really do hope to hear you more in these spaces. Come back to more of these spaces, but we'd love to hear you from you. I pretty much have to wrap it up. I appreciate everyone coming in. Thank you so much, everyone, for showing up. If you listen to the replay, thanks so much. Hit like, subscribe, all this fun stuff. Find us again, Builder DAO, BULDR, DAO, DAO, on Twitter. And this is going to be replayed both on Twitter as a recording for, I think, a month now, and then also a replay on Gentlemen of Crypto. But I believe we every Friday, 11 p.m., and we're 2 weeks off right now. So in 2 weeks, the first one for this episode will play, and this episode right now should play in 5 weeks from tomorrow. So Chase, 5 weeks from tomorrow, it should be this episode. When I first see that it's out, I will definitely send you a DM of that link 100%, because this is going to be 3 episodes, so you can get 3 DMs, my bro. So again, anybody wants to hit me up, I am the little icon inside 3D. If you're listening to the replay, you'll see it in there. I am also available as Zombied on YouTube, which I barely use, but also Twitter, which is fun, Z0AI3D. So it's just Zombie, but every letter is a number instead of a character. Hope you guys really enjoy it. You know what they normally say, they'll take your cash, crypto, and card, but we'll take your hearts for free. Everybody enjoy and have a great day.